Blessing didn't feel like herself anymore. It started with a strange itch. Then came the smell, strong, rotten, followed by sharp pain in her lower stomach. She rushed to the clinic. The nurse gave her antibiotics, but nothing changed. 2 weeks later, something worse happened. Her pants were always wet, not with urine, but with a thick, blackish fluid. Then one day, she went to the bathroom and screamed. Maggots, crawling, alive, coming out from between her legs. This is the story of Blessings. Stay tuned. The sun was hot that day. Blessing sat at the back of the lecture hall, fanning herself with her exercise book. She hadn't eaten since morning. Her eyes were dull from hunger. Her thoughts were far from the class. She was thinking of her mother again. Mama had been coughing blood for weeks. The hospital bill was 70,000 naira, but Blessing had only 2,300 naira in her account. After class, she walked back to her hostel room, dragging her feet like they carried stones. When she got to her door, her roommate, Vanessa, was sitting on the bed, painting her nails, her phone pressed to her ear. Vanessa was always full of life, wearing expensive wigs, perfumes, and changing phones like socks. Hey girl, she smiled, ending her call. You look like you want to faint. You never chop. Blessing shook her head weakly. No money. Vanessa dropped her nail polish and stood. Look, Blessing, you can't continue like this. Your mama is sick, you day suffer, yet you still day form good girl. Let me help you. Blessing frowned. Help me out. Vanessa grinned. I get one man. Very clean, very rich, and very generous. He no day ask for nonsense. He just likes clean, respectful girls. One night with him, and your mama go fit do surgery and even buy drugs for 1 year. Blessing's heart jumped. She had never done such a thing before. But the image of her mother, coughing and weak in the hospital, was too strong. That night, after crying alone in the bathroom, she walked out and told Vanessa, I'll do it. Just once. That night, a black Jeep arrived outside their hostel around 10:30 p.m. Vanessa handed her a simple black gown and red lipstick. Blessing's hands were shaking as she applied it in front of the mirror. She looked at herself and whispered, just one night. For mama. Just one night. The man inside the Jeep was dark-skinned, clean-shaven, and wore a gold wristwatch that sparkled even in the night. He smiled when he saw her. You're more beautiful than she said. He spoke with a deep voice. Blessing just nodded, too scared to speak. They drove to a quiet hotel outside town. He booked a luxury room on the top floor. He opened the door, handed her a glass of juice, and said, just relax. I don't bite. Blessing didn't drink the juice. But everything else that night, she didn't remember clearly. The following morning, Blessing woke up alone in the room. The man was gone. On the table, he left an envelope with 500,000 naira. A small note was inside. Take care of your mother. I'll reach out again if needed. M. She held the money and burst into tears. That same day, she paid the hospital bills. Her mother's treatment started. The cough began to reduce. And for the first time in a long while, Blessing smiled. But what she didn't know was, that night was not free. Her womb had been sold. 1 month later, Blessing started feeling strange. Itching, smell, pain in her lower stomach. She went to the clinic. The nurse gave her antibiotics, but nothing changed. 2 weeks later, she noticed something horrifying. Her pants were always wet. Not from urine, but from a thick, blackish fluid. Then one day, she went to the bathroom and screamed. Maggots. Yes, maggots. Wriggling. Alive. Crawling from between her legs. She collapsed on the floor. Blessing woke up in a hospital bed. The sharp white light above her face made her eyes blink fast. Her roommate Vanessa was standing beside her, looking shocked. "Blessing, Blessing," she called, shaking her gently. Blessing slowly turned her head. "I saw them, crawling," she whispered, her voice weak. "There were maggots inside me." The nurse nearby looked confused. "Maggots? What do you mean?" But Vanessa didn't look surprised. She just turned away and bit her lip like someone hiding a secret. The doctors ran test after test. STD test, negative. Ultrasound, clear. Urine test, normal. Pregnancy test, negative. The results said she was fine. But she knew she was not. That night, while everyone was asleep, she went to the bathroom again. As she sat on the toilet, a sharp pain shot through her womb like a knife. She looked down and screamed. Maggots were crawling again, slimy, white, and alive. She used a bucket of water to flush them, trembling in fear. When she looked in the mirror, she didn't recognize herself. Dark circles had formed under her eyes. Her lips were dry. She looked like someone who had been cursed. She called Vanessa. "Vanessa," she cried. "You told me the man was clean. You said it was safe." Vanessa didn't meet her eyes. Instead, she whispered something that made Blessing's heart freeze. "I didn't know he still does that." Blessing stared at her. "Still does what?" Vanessa looked around and leaned closer. Some girls who slept with him before, they went mad. Others bled till they died. "You're not the first." "What?" Blessing gasped. "I thought he changed. He paid me extra to bring you that night. I swear, I didn't know he still." Blessing slapped her hard across the face. "You sold me out, for money." Tears rolled down Vanessa's face. "I'm sorry." But it was too late. The damage had already been done. Desperate and afraid, Blessing followed her mother's advice and went to see a powerful prophetess in a nearby village. She wore a white wrapper, sat barefoot on a mat, and her eyes were covered with white chalk. Before Blessing could speak, the woman said, "You carried a demon that night. Your womb has been sold." Blessing's knees went weak. "I didn't know," she whispered, crying. The woman shook her head. "The man you slept with, is part of a powerful cult. They exchange women's wombs for riches and political power. It's not ordinary. That night, they collected your seed. What you saw, those maggots, are not physical. It's a sign from the spirit world." Blessing held her chest. "So what can I do?" she asked, shaking. "Please, I want my womb back. I want to be free." The woman looked deep into her eyes. "There is only one way. You must confront him directly, but before then, you must pass through cleansing. 3 nights. In the sacred stream. If your spirit is strong, you will survive. If it's weak, you may never return." Blessing wiped her tears, stood up slowly, and nodded. "I will go." The journey to the stream had begun, but something else was watching her already. In the dark shadows of the night. It was 4 a.m. The village was still dark and quiet, except for the sounds of frogs and distant crickets. Blessing was barefoot, wearing a plain white wrapper, walking through the forest path with the prophetess and one other woman, Meman Kechi, the prophetess's helper. They carried a small calabash, a bottle of palm oil, white chalk, a broom made of palm fronds, and an egg. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Blessing held her chest. Her heart was pounding. She had never entered a forest at night before. And now, she was heading to a sacred river, Oshimiriani, the river that talks. The prophetess said, "This river sees everything. It knows what happened to you. It knows what was taken. But it can also fight back if your hands are clean." When they reached the riverbank, the prophetess knelt and whispered ancient words into the air. Suddenly, the wind blew harder. The trees shook. The water in the river began to swell on its own. Blessing shivered. The prophetess turned to her. "Remove your wrapper. Step into the river. Let it touch your womb." Blessing removed the wrapper and stepped into the cold water. It was freezing. Her teeth began to chatter. Her legs felt numb. Then the prophetess threw the egg into the water and said loudly, "If her womb was sold, let the river reveal it." The egg floated for a moment, then cracked open on its own. Inside the egg was black liquid. The prophetess gasped. "It is confirmed," she whispered. Her womb was spiritually buried. Then she dipped the broom in the river and began sweeping the water around Blessing. As she chanted, Blessing suddenly screamed. A strong burning sensation shot through her stomach. She doubled over in pain, crying. But the prophetess didn't stop. "The spirit is angry," she said, "but we must continue." Just as they were about to end the ritual, a strange voice echoed from the water. "She must return the price or remain cursed." The women froze. Blessing was shaking all over. "What does that mean?" she asked. The prophetess looked scared. "It means the man who sold your womb must return the money he gained, or the curse stays. No matter what we do." Blessing dropped to her knees in the water, crying. "But I don't even know his real name. I don't know how to find him." The prophetess stared at her. "Then you must go back to the one who took you to him, your roommate." The next day, weak and still in pain, Blessing returned to school. Vanessa was shocked to see her. "Blessing, you left just like that. I've been looking for you." Blessing didn't answer. She walked straight into the room and locked the door. That evening, she finally sat with Vanessa and said, "I need his name. His full name. Now." Vanessa's face changed. Fear crawled into her eyes. "I told you, he doesn't like people talking about him." Blessing grabbed her shirt. "I said give me his name, or I swear, if I die, I'll come back and drag you into the grave with me." Shaking, Vanessa slowly wrote a name on a piece of paper. Chief Maxwell Omicam. Blessing looked at the name, burning it into her brain. Now, she had a name. The same name the river wanted. The same man who must return the price, or she would never be free. Blessing couldn't sleep that night. She lay on her hostel bed, staring at the ceiling fan, as the name Chief Maxwell Omicam echoed in her head over and over again. A name that sounded like power and destruction. The man who had taken everything from her and disappeared like smoke. She picked up her phone, searched the name online, but nothing came up. No Facebook, no Instagram, no company, no business records. It was like the man didn't exist. But he did. She felt it, in her womb. The next morning, she stormed into Vanessa's room, eyes red with anger and frustration. "Where does he live? Where does he work? Give me something." Vanessa looked scared. "Blessing, please. I don't want to die. I'm begging you. That man is not ordinary. He warned me never to share his location. The last girl who tried to track him, she went mad." Blessing didn't care. "My womb is gone," she shouted. "He already took everything from me. What else do I have to lose?" Vanessa hesitated, then finally said in a whisper, "He has a private lodge in town, near Hilltop Estate. But security is tight. No one enters without invitation." Later that day, Blessing borrowed a friend's oversized hoodie and glasses, packed a small bag, and took a bike to Hilltop Estate. It was quiet and luxurious. Big houses, tall gates, no children playing around. Everything looked too polished, too secretive. She asked around. Most people just stared or ignored her. But a fruit seller finally whispered, "If it's the big house with the black Jeep, that's Odogwu's place. But nobody calls him Maxwell around here." "Odogwu?" Blessing repeated. "Yes. People say he helped build this estate. Others say he owns it. But strange things happen inside there. Some girls enter and never come out again." Blessing felt chills down her spine. She tried to enter. She walked to the tall black gate with gold patterns. 2 huge security men stood there. "Good afternoon," she said, her voice shaking. "I want to see Chief Maxwell. I mean, Odogwu." One of the guards laughed. "You get appointment." She shook her head, then turned back. The other one said sharply, "This is not a church. You don't walk in without invitation." "But I need to see him. Please. Tell him it's Blessing. He knows me." The guards burst into laughter. "Go back, small girl, before we help you disappear." They pushed her away and slammed the gate shut. She stood there for minutes, heartbroken. Tears filled her eyes. Not because she failed, but because the war had just started. That night at the hostel, Blessing returned quietly, not saying a word to anyone. Around midnight, she woke up screaming. She had a nightmare. In the dream, she was inside a coffin, but the coffin was filled with maggots. And standing over it was Chief Maxwell, wearing red beads and smiling wickedly. He leaned close and whispered, "I didn't just take your womb. I bought your destiny." She woke up sweating. Her roommate ran to her. "Blessing, what is it?" She grabbed her Bible and began to cry. "I need to go back to the prophetess. I need to go back. This is no longer a sickness. This is war." Meanwhile, far away in a dark compound surrounded by high fences, Chief Maxwell sat in a red chair, a glass of palm wine in his hand. Behind him were burning candles and an old shrine. He picked up a goat horn and poured some wine into it. Then he spoke into the darkness. "She's awake. She wants to fight. Let her try. But by the time she finds me again, there'll be nothing left of her." He sipped his drink and smiled. The battle had just begun. By 6 a.m., Blessing was already on her way back to the prophetess's compound. She didn't eat. She didn't speak to anyone. Her body felt weak, but her spirit was burning with one desire: to reclaim what was stolen. The journey took over 2 hours, but she didn't care. When she arrived, the compound felt different. Quieter, darker, colder. The prophetess was sitting outside already, like she had been expecting her. She didn't smile. She didn't greet. She just looked into Blessing's eyes and said, "He knows you're searching. That's why he's sending shadows to block your way." Blessing nodded, tears gathering. "I saw him in my dream, smiling inside a coffin of maggots. He said he bought my destiny." The prophetess stood. "It's time we open the truth." That evening, as the sky turned orange, the prophetess prepared a sacred mirror made of goat skin, powdered charcoal, and cow blood. She drew strange signs on the ground and lit 7 red candles in a circle. Then she placed the mirror in the middle and told Blessing to sit. "Do not blink," she warned. "Whatever you see, do not speak until the mirror goes dark." Blessing nodded and stared into the strange object. At first, nothing. Then slowly, images began to appear. She saw a river, then a girl, naked and shaking, being led by 2 women into the river. That girl was her. Then the image changed. She saw the night she was in the hotel room. The man gave her juice. She refused, but something was blown into her face. White powder. She passed out. Then, another image. A small shrine. A man in red beads and black wrapper stood over a clay pot filled with blood. Chief Maxwell. He dipped his fingers in the pot, pulled out a tiny image of a womb made from wax, and whispered, "This is my offering. Give me political power. Take her ability to carry children." He buried the wax womb into the soil. Then the mirror flashed again. This time, she saw herself. Older, married, but barren, crying as doctors told her she had no womb. Then a voice echoed inside the mirror. "Unless he returns what he took, your future will be full of tears." Suddenly, the mirror went dark. Blessing fell backward, screaming. The prophetess rushed to her and held her as she cried. I saw everything, Blessing sobbed. He buried something. He gave my womb to the gods. The prophetess nodded. Yes, and he paid them with your destiny. That's why nothing has worked for you. Blessing looked up, voice shaking. Can I still get it back? The prophetess paused, then said slowly, yes, but only if he unburies it with his own hands, or if his blood touches the earth where your womb was buried. Blessing's eyes widened. His blood. The prophetess nodded. Either he willingly returns what he stole, or he must bleed on the same ground. Blessing stood up slowly, then whispered, then I must make him bleed. Later that night, Chief Maxwell was driving home in his black Jeep, smiling after a political meeting. As he stepped into his compound, he stopped. On his gate was a red cloth, tied in a strange knot. He walked closer. Written on it with charcoal were 4 words. I want my womb. He stared at it, then looked around. There was no one in sight, but he could feel it. War had started. Watch out for the part 2. The real battle is just beginning. This is not just a story of revenge. It's a fight between darkness and a girl who refused to stay broken. Turn on your notifications. Part 2 will shake you. Don't miss the drama as it unfolds. And remember to like, subscribe, share and comment.